Human-wildlife conflict, Wajir girls' deadly encounter with hyenas.
Na chief, tunataka kila mtoto aliyewekwa mimba ajulikane mwenye kumweka mimba ni nani. Apelekwe jela.
Now chiefs to be held accountable for teen pregnancies in their regions.
Nasio and Owino George David looking.
And City Stars hold Gore as Tusker closes in on Kogalo lead. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening. Now, it's been 4 months since the general elections, and Western Kenya is still on the most wanted politicians' wish lists. Deputy President William Ruto spent the day in Bungoma County wooing the residents to support President Uhuru Kenyatta's government. KTN's Ashamwilu kicks off our bulletin tonight with the new political intrigues rocking the Western region.
Like many other Sundays, Deputy President William Ruto joined other faithfuls in church for the day's service. Ruto was in Western Kenya, Kapsokwan town to be precise, praying alongside elected leaders from the area. This was no ordinary prayer meeting, however. The move was seen as strategic for the government to gain political muscle and support in Western Kenya. Here, the DP had one simple message for their critics.
Those who are talking politics and talking a lot of issues that are irrelevant, they are wasting our time. They should give us a break.
This tactical move to reach out to Kenyans in Western comes barely a week after the DP and the president met leaders from the region. The meeting discussed how to involve Musalia Mudavadi and Eugene Wamalwa in the government's agenda.
Tumeamua kwamba ingawaje wengine tulikuwa kule na wengine tukawa kule, turudi pamoja tufanye kazi na serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta.
Tema ya siasa tutaongea 2017. Jameni, mtupatie nafasi tuongee mambo ya maendeleo wakati huu. Ama namna gani? Kwani hii siasa tutaongea from Januari mpaka Januari?
Hata kesho tunaenda kuwa na Mheshimiwa Deputy President na Mheshimiwa Rais kuzungumzia how national government can work well with the county government.
The government's scuffle for support in Western will, however, not be a walk in the park. The opposition sent a strong political message in Bungoma town just 2 months after losing the March 4th election. With both the government and the opposition wooing Western Kenya, the residents and leaders of this region are now left with the vital decision to make, with Western Kenya being one of the closely monitored regions in Kenya's developmental agenda. Ashamwilu, KTN, Sunday Night.
And we'll keep an eye on that politics for you. But now to a disturbing case of human-wildlife conflict. A child is in critical condition after she was attacked by hyenas in Wajir County. The child, who was airlifted to Nairobi's Kenyatta Hospital for specialized treatment, was asleep in her family's manyatta when the hyena attacked, biting her face and arm. 2 other people were injured in that attack. KTN's Angel Katusia with details of that story.
At the Kenyatta National Hospital, a 13-year-old girl has just arrived from Wajir County for specialized treatment. On a closer look, the impact of a deadly attack by hyenas. According to the Kenya Wildlife Service, the girl was among 3 people attacked by 4 hyenas in their manyatta in Damba's location Saturday night. Her injury is so severe that she had to be airlifted to Nairobi.
She's still undergoing investigations, but we are concerned about parts of her face and her eye. But we have our seniors coming to review her and to see how well whether she'll be able to, whether her injuries will be that severe. But she's stable. She's not in any danger.
The two others, middle-aged women, sustained minor injuries and were attended at a hospital in the county. This attack is not the first in the county. Late last year, hyenas attacked a manyatta in Dil Manyale location, killing 2 children and injuring 6 members of one family.
The hyenas live together with the people, so it's not a matter of coming from anywhere and getting to the village. They just live amongst the people.
KWS says it is working towards controlling the wild animals in the region, especially hyenas, and limit the human-wildlife conflict in the region. Residents have in the past complained over the poor compensation by KWS.
For death, loss of life, we compensate up to 200,000. That is the maximum. Injuries up to a maximum of 50,000, depending on the degree of injury.
A 2012 wildlife policy and wildlife bill that was passed last year by the cabinet proposes a comprehensive institutional framework for managing wildlife, human-wildlife conflict and compensation, as well ensure that wildlife is beneficial to the host community. However, the bill is yet to be tabled in Parliament for approval, and as long as it is in this state, people like this young girl will only receive the current mere compensation. Angel Kiguta, KTN Sunday Night.
Deputy President William Ruto has warned chiefs and their assistants in Mount Elgon region that they will be held responsible for pregnancies among underage girls in areas under their jurisdictions. Ruto has also cautioned against early marriages, which seem to be the norm in Mount Elgon. And as KTN's Najma Ismail now reports, chiefs now have their work cut out for them.
Chief na assistant chief, munajua sheria ya watoto inasema nini?
The Deputy President's remarks comes 2 months after 18 underage girls of Chepkurkur Primary School in Mount Elgon region were impregnated under unclear circumstances.
Watu wote wanaoshiriki katika hii biashara ya kuhangaisha watoto wetu shuleni inatakikana wafungwe.
It is a scourge that has kept many girls countrywide out of school. Poverty and age-old tradition of early marriages in some communities have been claimed to be the primary factors fueling this trend. Last month in Kericho, 5 girls between the age of 11 and 16 years dropped out of Cheplenget Primary School after boda operators allegedly impregnated them.
Kama wewe ni mwanaume ambaye kichwa yako iko timamu, wewe unaenda kufanya nini na mtoto wa shule?
However, this incident that hit the headlines 2 months ago in Mount Elgon has served as a wake-up call to the people of Chepkurkur area. A girls' rescue center will soon be opened in Mount Elgon to try and address the challenges facing the girl-child education in the area.
Wasichana wa Kopsiro waende shule. Nyinyi wanaume mtulize body.
Najma Ismail, KTN.
A senior CID officer was allegedly shot dead by his colleagues under mysterious circumstances in Kitui town Saturday night. The officer, Chief Inspector Zebedio Maina, was once the head of the controversial Kwekwe and Eagle police squads that were behind the crackdown of Mungeki members between 2008 and 2011. A police source who spoke on condition of anonymity said Maina's junior shot him as he got out of the car they were using. Maina was shot in the back as he led a team of officers to rescue a 5.5-year-old girl kidnapped from Nairobi. Eastern Police boss Meka Sochola said Maina succumbed to bullet injuries as he was being rushed to hospital. Investigations into that incident are underway. Road carnage now, and 1 person lost his life and 15 others were seriously injured in an accident that took place in Kitale, Likuyani district. The driver of the public service vehicle is said to have veered off the road, injuring pedestrians at a nearby shopping center. Now, nearly 1,900 people have been killed so far as a result of road carnage since the year began. And as Betty Callow explains, there is another major challenge that the traffic department says is making it even harder to reduce these deaths.
The driver is said to have lost control of the vehicle as he tried to avoid a head-on collision with an oncoming lorry. 12 of the injured are currently receiving treatment at the Moi Referral Hospital. With every accident that hits the headlines comes the reality that this year the country may just get into the 3,000 mark in death-related accidents, which has been the case in the past 2 years. Since January this year, there have been 3,685 accidents on Kenyan roads. From these accidents, 8,579 people have fallen victim, with 1,874 having been killed. The traffic department falls indisciplined motorists and careless pedestrians.
There is a very serious carelessness on the side of pedestrians. And in Nairobi, we have an average of about 3 pedestrians every day losing their lives.
However, there is a bigger problem in the traffic department, and it's a case of numbers. Shocking statistics show that there are only 2,000 traffic officers countrywide, serving 40 million Kenyans. The 2,000 officers additionally control the 1.6 million vehicles in the country. This basically means that one traffic officer is expected to cater to 800 vehicles and 20,000 people in traffic-related matters.
We are confronted with other challenges which are not supposed to be part of our day-to-day duties. This is controlling jam, especially in our urban areas. Now you find our officers using most of their time, instead of enforcing the law, going for those offenders, we are using that time to provide or to create movement.
The force needs an additional 2,000 officers who will be spread out in manning traffic, law enforcement, and other traffic-related duties. Betty Kyalo, KTN Sunday Night.
To election matters now. In the pending conclusion of several election petitions may give the IEBC another headache, that is to conduct by-elections if ordered to do so by the courts. But the March 4th general election, in which court disputed Jubilee's win, is still a topic many revisit months after it was concluded. Now, several observers have given the IEBC a clean bill of health over how it carried out the election. And as Aaron Ucheng reports, the vindication of IEBC is not good news across the political divide.
Exactly 5 months after the general election and dust settling down, losers and winners taking their positions. But one question that still lingers is whether everyone is satisfied with the results that IEBC gave after the polls. Although there are several election petitions pending in the courts, one that was speedily concluded was the presidential election petition that Coalition for Reforms and Democracy CORD filed against President Uhuru Kenyatta. Although CORD lost the case, its leadership lay blame on the judiciary's decision to throw out a 300-page evidence that the coalition claims would have convinced the judges that indeed the March 4th poll was rigged.
Whereas every electoral management body sets out to conduct a perfect election, the world has never witnessed a really perfect election. All elections have faults here and there.
The parallel vote tallying mechanism, in which over 7,000 agents from various observer missions conducted, has maintained that the election was free and fair, save for the failure of technology. A report by ELOG, an independent election observation group, vindicated IEBC from any blame, the same way the European Union, the African Union, and the Carter Center did. Their overall remark was that they observed nothing that would have discredited the whole exercise.
We had our agents in the polling streams. They collected the data that we analyzed and used to arrive at the conclusion that we had. All we said is that the results announced by the IEBC fell within the range that we projected.
But with CORD leadership blaming IEBC and even threatening to use legal means to disband the body, a very tightrope it is that IEBC is walking to convince Kenyans that they are indeed credible and capable of carrying out and managing electoral matters in the country.
There have been commentaries left, center, and right. There are those who felt that the results of that election was an unmitigated disaster.
With several election petitions being concluded, IEBC is watching keenly to see if they will be required to repeat the polls in several parts of the country and perhaps use the exercise, just like in the recent Makueni by-election, to convince the country that they can conduct credible polls. Aaron Ocheng, KTN.
Let's switch gears now to a lighter and possibly sweeter topic. The coast region is famous for its palm wine. The Mnazi is a local brew made from coconut, and it is especially popular with the Mijikenda people and tourists who want to sample local unadulterated alcohol. But did you know there's another local brew in the coast made from the stem of a palm tree? Our senior coast reporter Ferdinand Omondi went on the trail of this rare drink known as mkoma.
Kazungu Chengongoa perches himself atop a doom palm tree at the Imanunu village in Tana River. His sharp whistling cuts through the winds as he goes about tapping the juice from the tree. Kazungu is a palm wine tapper and he is extracting wine.
Ile ni pombe tayari. Ile ni pombe tayari.
The kind of wine extracted from the doom palm is named after the tree's local name, mkoma. Unlike the mnazi, a palm wine made from coconut, the mkoma does not need brewing.
Inaanza kuchemka yenyewe, ile inachemka yenyewe wakati wote. Sasa inalingana, kuna nyingine iko na pombe, kuna nyingine haina.
To get the wine, Kazungu climbs up and down the branches and perches near the tip, which he slices off. He then ties a container at the base of the stem and lets the sap drip in slowly. It takes hours to fill a container. The sheer amount of bottles hanging from the trees around here symbolize just how much work Kazungu puts in to get a sufficient supply. This is what he does for a living, although he admits the returns are modest.
Kama nikijasela 20 liter ile napata kama kwa napata 3 ama 250.
His effortless climbs up and down from branch to branch underlines his experience of a profession he took up over 20 years ago after dropping out of school in class 3. In an area where people struggle to eke out even $1 a day, Kazungu has found himself among those people can say they are self-employed. It might not be much, but at least he can fend for himself, his wife and his 3 children. However, our search for the end product proved futile. It is rare, as are the tapas. The people we found in the watering holes were enjoying the more readily available mnazi, but were happy to share what they know about the mkoma drink.
Kilalo wa mkoma iko poa vizuri sana.
Mkoma ni kali sana.
Lile linashika magoti. Hapa na pale mrongo huwezi tembea kule.
The doom palm is a very resourceful tree in the Tana River Delta. Its leaves can be used for thatch and handicraft. It's also a source of fuel and timber, while its edible fruit is a magnet for baboons. Ferdinand Mundi, KTN, Tana River.
Well, we're going to take a short break on KTN Sunday night. As you can see, Moses Kuria has now joined us. Our panel is complete. He's joined by Professor Edwin Kisiangani. In a short while, we'll be talking politics. On Checkpoint, has the prophecy that Kanu will rule for 100 years indeed started to come to pass? We'll be discussing that shortly. But just ahead on KTN Sunday night, a bank plantation in the Apidares. Stay with us.